How's it? Winston Churchill, once upon a time, said, "This is not the beginning of the end, but it is very possibly the end of the beginning." And you may have noticed recently, I've been making some inquiries about people who watch the channel, about the sort of things they'd like to see, about themes, ideas for workshops, and etc. And I just want to quash something straight off the bat, right? And I have my phone here because I've made a screenshot of it so I can get it right. And there was a comment by Perrin99 who said, "If this becomes another how-to channel, I think I would swerve it. This channel is special and different because it is a conversation about art." And then there's a follow-up question or response going, "Yes, I agree. Alex's insight into photography is what brought me to this channel. There are hundreds, if not more, how-tos already on YouTube and the marketplace. I love Alex's look at other photographers and their history and what they contributed to photography." Absolutely. I 100% agree with both those comments, mostly because they're quite flattering, right? But this is not going to be another how-to channel. This is not a volte-face, right? An about turn into becoming a tutorial-based channel. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you what I'm thinking, and hopefully that will give you a clearer picture and get you really excited, because I'm like properly excited about now, a bit more focused about the channel that we can use going forward. All right, so my throat's a bit scroaky, so I'm just going to have a quick slurp. And if you know where that comes from, the slurp thing, let me know in the comments. I'll be interested to see, because he influenced how I'd like this channel to be entirely. And that's probably something that's really good for the why, which I'll get onto in a second. But let's talk about what's going to happen. I have asked people about what sort of topics they'd like a deep dive into. You may have seen the poll. And this month, people have said, a deep dive into how to find and use natural light would be ideal. So what I'm proposing is this. He says, with that rubbly thing of the paper, it's very unprofessional of me, is that each month there is an overall theme across the videos of the channel. So in February, it would be light. To begin the month, there would be a live online workshop, not here on the channel, but on my website, where if you needed a primer or a slightly deeper introduction into the nuts and the bolts of, say, using and finding natural light, or how to make stronger black and white photographs or what have you, that is an option. It's an hour long. There's a Q&A section afterwards, and we also set an assignment for the month, which I'll get onto also in a little bit. And that would be an optional extra for people who feel like they would want to have a better understanding of the idea that we're going to be focusing across the month. So light, black and white, motion, these kind of very broad ideas, just to help them bridge that gap between the more technical based things and then being able to think in a bit of a broader sense. So across the month, these are now videos here on the channel. There would be, and you can see I've written all this down, okay, because that's kind of why I'm doing this, is because I would like some more focus in the sort of things that I can plan for you. Rather than being at the whim of an algorithm trying to chase views, I would like to make more structured content that stays true, and I can't stress enough, stays true to the core concept of the channel, which is enjoying the art of photography. So across the month we have, say for example, a look at a photographer or photographers who use natural light as a main theme in their photography. So I'm thinking somebody like Fan Ho, for example. So we look at Fan Ho, enjoys photography, talk about it in the same way that that I talk about Fan Ho as I would normally on the channel as any other photographer, but with an idea of focusing not on how he's using light, but why he's using those lights and what's happening, how it's making us feel. But the workshop has given people who maybe aren't as proficient with a camera from a technical standpoint the ability to now understand kind of how he's going about this. I don't need to explain it twice, and hopefully it'll give people who are taking the workshop or the primer a bit more of an understanding so they can enjoy the video more. Do you see where I'm getting with this? So, so I've got a fan ho, Elizabeth Messina, who is a wedding photographer in the States who works a lot of natural light. She massively influenced my studio work, right? So why, I would talk about her, and I don't have to explain how the natural light is working. I can enjoy the photographs, and so you see where we're going with this. Images of light, how it works with different weather. Weather's a very hot topic at the moment. Apparently in the States everybody's got really rubbishy weather. It's been very cold here, but the light the last couple of days, because it's been blue skies, wow, it's been lovely. So if you talk about weather photography, storms, snow, all these things, but we can talk about also the light within them. You see how that theme is sort of coming through the rest of the month. Photography at night might be an idea. Somebody like Versailles with the Paris at night images, or other people who work at night. The theme is still light. The focus is on light. In the comment section of one of the posts that I made about this, somebody suggested about looking outside of photography for inspiration. I think that's an important thing to touch on. Light itself. This is kind of not quite Rembrandt lighting. You may have heard the term, you don't know maybe what it comes from. But if we look at Rembrandt, the painter, what can we learn about light from him? How can we apply that to our photography? What can we look and taking from art forms? Cinema. Cinema is a great place of finding light. All these aspects. Can you see how this is coming together to give all the videos a bit more of a structured idea to come through? So it makes it almost easier for me as well, and less stressful, because I know what I would like to talk about and find photographers who fit into that. This would be even more helpful if you chucked in some ideas about how you could take, say, the theme of light and build a video around it that's not a how-to. I'm doing a bit of crowdsourcing here, but I would love to hear input. Even if you picked up a camera like last week, you tell us, let us know. If you've been a photographer now for like 40 years, 50 years, let us know. Let us know what sort of ideas could be coming out. I think this is part of the thing. Let's make this more of a collaborative, back and forth thing. I know I've talked about this, but one of my major issues with YouTube is that I am sitting here talking to a Canon EOS 250D. I'd like to be talking to you in this room, but I don't think it would fit 20,000 people. It'd be a bit of a squeeze. But that's kind of, I want to get that. And I want to help you guys as well. Feel like this is a process. Feel like there's a reason for watching the channel, that we're moving across 2024 to really kind of build our photography together. All right, so in my notes here, it says just taking a little slurp. At the end of the month, what happens? So I mentioned there was an assignment earlier along the lines of, show me your best natural light photograph. There's in the pipe works, but I think hopefully by the time that we get going with this, it will be a nailed on thing. I've got a sponsorship deal that's been worked out with a company that supplies online gallery stuff for photographers. And this is ideal because you don't need to register. It's not a Google Drive, so you don't have to fuss around all this kind of stuff. It is a gallery I can give you a link to, you can drop an image into it, and then it's done, right? And I then have the ability to rate those photographs. And what I'm thinking is at the end of the month, when all the people put in the images for the assignment, we then talk about the assignment. There's a video about the assignment. I will show briefly on screen all the images, and then I will pick 5. My 5 favorites, talk about them as if I'm doing like a little bit of feedback. We can, and really why I like them, what moves them. And this is, again, I think, really helpful. Really, it's great. It allows people, I think, the chance to, submit something to get the work be seen. I have to stress, it's not a competition, right? There's no voting or anything going on here. I want to make it it's 5 pictures that I really like, and that's kind of cool, right? And we talk about them. So yeah, maybe one of your pictures. So I'm really excited about that. That I think is a great way. It makes it a lot easier and a lot simpler to manage about actually, you guys sharing your images. Because also then you can look at other people's images and get some inspiration from that. So I think it's a bit of a win-win there. And of course, the guys, if they're going to sponsor the channel, well, they are going to sponsor the channel. That's really great because it allows me to make more videos that are less reliant on getting huge amounts of views. Right, so that's a whole big discussion. Now, I've got here why. And I touched briefly on why earlier. Is to help people who have less experience with photography feel like they're being included. I think that's a kind of a main thing in photography. That's a lot of people they're just beginning. And often some of the videos, I'm guilty of it. I make leaps of assumption that, people are going, I bet you, of course you know who this is, and of course you know who that is, and of course I don't need to tell you about shutter speed and stuff like that. And it can come across as slightly highbrow, right? And I don't want that. The reason I started this channel is because I want to introduce people of all skill levels to, the joy of photography, right? That's the driving force. I want people to feel confident about photography. If they haven't got the, as much of an insight into a specific topic, like light, for example, then there's a primer. They can go and they can do it, and it gives them the tools to enjoy the videos that follow on a deeper level. And for people who are, not needing, for want of a better word, that primer, the video isn't being clogged up with having to explain, right? We've all watched movies where there's you have to explain something in the storyline to make everything make sense. Oppenheimer, I know it's about the atomic bomb, but they have to kind of almost do an entire scene just to get the audience on board with a concept or topic, right? So if we don't have to do this in a video, it means, because we've already done it in a workshop at the beginning of the month, everybody has access to, if they want to, they can go online and they can watch it, or they can download it at a later date. And there'll be a link in the description box below about that. Then, it's there. They can do a little bit of catch up. And so I think that's a great idea. You meld the two things together. I'm really excited about it. If you have any thoughts about this, I know some people might sit and go, but this does sound like a how-to. It's not a how-to channel. Everything, the core ethos of the channel is all going to stay the same. But from my point of view, it helps me because I can have more of a focus about the sort of videos that I'm going to make and what I'm going to talk about. And that certainly helps because it's going to be less of the sort of the videos sort of chasing the algorithm kind of stuff. The online workshops, eventually there'll be a library of these things, that people can do. So if you're new to photography, you go, oh, look, there's a thing about light. There's a thing about black and white, motion, mood, shape, form, texture, things of that nature. How useful would this be? All right. So you're helping me build up this stuff. You're helping support the channel. And, I'm looking forward to it. Have a great weekend. Go click on the link in the description box below to find out, more about this online primer workshop. And I will see you on Monday. Thank you ever so much for watching. And normally I'd tell you to go watch another video, but I'm not going to today. Go click on the link, let me know, and I'll see you soon. Thank you ever so much for watching.